Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. I'm wearing red. Today I'm really excited because I launched my PCOS online course. I've been working on it for a long time and I decided to launch it on Valentine's Day. And I'm really excited about it. I want to tell you a little bit about it. So it's going to be a 6-week online course, and it's a self-study course, which means you can go at your own pace. And I find there's so much confusion on the internet when it comes to PCOS. You know, I'm sure you're probably confused on what should you be eating if you have PCOS. What's the best diet? What's the best kind of exercise? You read online that somebody says follow this kind of a diet and somebody else says something else, or do this kind of exercise, or take this kind of a supplement. It's really, really confusing to know what to do if you have PCOS. And this could be if you're newly diagnosed or if you've had it for 10 years. You know, you probably didn't get much information from your doctor. And the 3 words that come to mind, which kind of helped me formulate this course, would be overwhelm, confusion, and frustration. So I'm kind of known for giving really practical tips, as you've probably seen from my feed. So I wanted to put together a course to give you really practical information for what you could do for your own lifestyles. So I decided to put together this course. I've been specializing in PCOS for about 15 years, and over these 15 years, actually it's almost 20 years, I've really worked with thousands of women with PCOS, and everybody's different. So it's hard for me to put together a course that's going to be exactly for you. But what you are going to get is you're going to get the tools that you need so you'll know what to do in your own life. And the women I've helped with PCOS, I give them a lot of practical tips. Just diet. It's really lifestyle, and that's one of the points of my course. Is we're going to be addressing every area. We're going to spend a lot of time on education. So kind of the course is divided into, I guess you could call it, 2 main parts. The first part, you're going to get a lot of education, and you need to understand what's going on in your body before you can do something about it. It's going to really help you be able to make these changes. So we're going to talk about what are some of the causes of PCOS, some of the root causes. We're going to talk a lot about insulin resistance, which tends to be at the heart of PCOS for up to 95% of all women, and even lean women can have a lot of insulin resistance. So we're going to talk a lot about that. And a lot of people think with insulin resistance, all you really think about is don't eat carbs. Well, it's not just that, and it's not even that. As a matter of fact, certain kinds of carbs can help insulin resistance. But I get lots of questions from women, you know, do I have to avoid fruit? Should I cut out all carbs? And that's just total misinformation, and it's wrong. And who wants to be on this restrictive diet all the time if it's not doing anything for you? So we're going to talk a lot about insulin resistance, and I'm going to give you a lot of tips on things that you can do to help decrease insulin resistance. We're also going to talk about what is insulin resistance and how do you know if you have it. I'm going to give you some tips to figure that out, and also some tests that you can ask your doctor to draw. And then we're going to talk about another kind of at the root of PCOS, which is inflammation. And it's believed most women with PCOS have low-grade inflammation. So what do you do about it? You know, a lot of people say, well, just don't eat sugar. So maybe what you do is you don't eat sugar, and then you load up on tons of meat, and you're on a super low-carb diet. That can make your inflammation worse. So we're going to talk a lot about what is inflammation with PCOS and how can you decrease your inflammation. And then we're going to talk about gut health. They're doing a lot of really interesting studies on gut health and PCOS, and I think we don't know that much about it yet, but we will in the years to come. But I'm going to talk about some of the studies, and then I'm going to give you a lot of really practical tips on what you can do to eat a more gut healthy diet, because the gut microbiome is really at the heart of everything right now. And so we're going to talk a lot about what practical tips can you do to eat a more gut healthy diet. Because again, what I see with a lot of women coming to me is that they're mainly just focusing on don't eating carbs. And you may be doing a lot of things that are actually harming your gut microbiome. So we'll talk about what kind of things can you add in, and other lifestyle factors that you can do to add in to improve your gut microbiome. So we're going to start with that. You know, what is PCOS? What about insulin resistance, inflammation, gut health? What kind of blood tests should you have done to figure that all out? And then we're going to get into talking more about nutrition. And there's so much that you can do in your diet to improve everything, your symptoms, inflammation, gut health, insulin resistance. So we're going to talk a lot about the macronutrients like protein and fat. You know, we should not be fat phobic. You want fat with PCOS in your diet. So we're going to talk about the different kinds of fat, how to add it into your diet. Fiber, to me, fiber is one of the most important nutrients. So we're going to talk about what kinds of fiber is good, how much fiber should you have, how can you add it into your diet, because there's lots of different kinds of fiber and they all have different roles in the body. So we're going to talk about the different kinds of fiber and how can you add it in. We're going to talk about omega-3 fats. See, there's so much when it comes to diet for PCOS. It's not just don't eat carbs. There's so many things that you can do to help balance out your hormones, which will help improve your symptoms. For those of you who are just joining in, I'm talking about the online course that I launched today, my 6-week online course called the PCOS Nutrition and Lifestyle Blueprint. It's an online self-study course, and I'm having a special today through Tuesday at noon. If any of you tried to register earlier, we had some issues with the links on my website, which kind of stinks. On launch day, the links didn't work, but everything's working now. But I'm having a special. You're going to save 30% with early bird pricing if you join between today and Tuesday at noon. And I had offered a special to the first 15 people, but that's been taken. So, and I'm going to cap it out at 100 people, so definitely join if you're interested. You will have lifelong access to the course, so don't worry, don't feel stressed that you have to do it all at once. So what was I saying? So yeah, there's so much you can do from a diet standpoint to help your PCOS and to help decrease symptoms. I'm going to talk about the whole dairy and gluten thing. You know, do you need to avoid dairy and gluten? And just so you know, I am a registered dietitian and I have been specializing in PCOS for almost 20 years. I like to say 15 because 20 makes me sound really old, but it's almost 20 years. And there's a lot of stuff out there, you know, there's a lot of myths, but you know, some things work for different people. So I'm going to get into that. We'll talk about food sensitivities. Are there certain foods that you should avoid if you have PCOS? But aside from giving you all this information, I want to help you make behavior changes. I'm also a certified health coach. So I'm going to be giving you tips to help make changes. I talk a lot about journaling because I think keeping a journal is really important for PCOS to help you pay attention to how different foods make your body feel, how does different kind of exercise make your body feel. And then we're going to get into lifestyle, which is a huge part of treating PCOS. When it comes to treating PCOS naturally, there are quite a few different areas. It's not just diet, and it's certainly not just weight loss. If you've been told by your doctor, oh, just lose weight and your PCOS will go away. No, that's not true, because there are many lean women who also have PCOS. So this isn't a weight loss program, but what I will say is if you are able to follow a lot of the things I recommend, you probably will lose weight if that's your goal, because we're talking about a really healthy, balanced kind of a program. So in terms of lifestyle, it's just as important as diet, because you could have the best diet in the world, but if you're massively stressed out, which I see a lot, especially with my New York City clients, everybody's really stressed out, but everybody's stressed out no matter where you live. So you're massively stressed out, you don't get enough sleep, and you just don't have time to plan your meals. And compound that with this hormone imbalance that you have, you probably have major carbohydrate cravings, major hunger, you're exhausted all the time, have mood issues, and this is all part of PCOS. But the good news is that this can be changed through healthy diet and lifestyle. You can definitely make a lot of changes, and you can start to feel better really fast. Now, it takes a longer time to change some symptoms, for example, hair loss. That's a really tough one. I'm going to give you tips for that. I cannot promise you that all of a sudden tomorrow you're going to grow a full head of hair, but you will start to see an improvement. But other things like, for example, energy levels, carbohydrate cravings, mood, you can start to feel better immediately. But the good news is, I think by doing my program, you will no longer have the confusion. Premature grays, I don't know of a diet that can help with premature grays. By the way, if you guys have any questions, I'm going to be doing another live probably on Sunday or Monday. Definitely DM me any questions that you have, and I will Any questions that you have, DM me, or like I said, I'll do another live on Monday if you want to answer your questions, because I definitely want to answer your questions, and I want to help you find out if my program is right for you. And as I said earlier, it's really right for anybody, whether you've been newly diagnosed or whether you've had it for a long time. What causes the hair loss? It's mainly the high levels of androgens, and they believe some low-grade inflammation. And I think hair loss is probably the most difficult one. Skin can clear up fairly easy. I shouldn't say that, but easier by making some dietary changes. The hair loss takes a longer time. The first thing, and I will talk about this more in my course about checking for nutrient deficiencies. That would be number 1. Check your thyroid. That would be number 2. Stress is number 3. And then we would get into the actual diet part. So I was saying, so the first part, we start with the education about the insulin resistance, the inflammation, the gut health, kind of the hormones, what's going on in your body. The second part, we do a really deep dive into the nutrition part, and just getting into the different kinds of foods that can actually help decrease your symptoms. There's a lot of foods that can really help. So rather than always thinking about, oh, I can't have that and I can't have that, I would encourage you to change the way you think and think more. Let me add these foods in because they can help with my symptoms. So then we're going to get into the lifestyle part, as I said before. And then we get into the really practical part. So I always ask my followers, what's more difficult for you? Knowing what to eat or exercise, whatever, for PCOS, or being able to implement it. Because I think a lot of us know, oh yeah, wild salmon and broccoli and quinoa is great for PCOS. But if you're working 10 hours a day and have a family and don't really cook much, like how are you going to make that perfect meal fit? So I think a lot of people have trouble with implementation. Finding ways to get enough sleep, finding ways to get an exercise. So I'm going to give you a lot of really practical tips for meal planning and talk about some easy techniques. You're going to get lots of ideas for meals. Now, I live in New York. I don't cook much at all. I want meals that you can put together in like 15 minutes. So I'm going to help you guys with lots of really simple meals, give you ideas for staples that you can keep in your kitchen that you could just throw together for a really quick meal. You'll get lots of ideas for breakfast. I think I have like over 20 breakfast ideas. I probably have over 75 meal ideas in general. You will get some loose meal plans. I'm not a huge believer in following eat this, and this. I don't want to tell you exactly what to eat, but you're going to get lots and lots of ideas for meal plans or meals, recipes and all that. You're going to get a bunch of bonuses. I have a yoga expert coming on to do a yoga class, and I have a very well-known psychologist, Gretchen Kubacki, who wrote the PCOS Mood Cure. She's going to be doing a special video as well for you guys on mindset and PCOS psychology. So you're going to get bonuses there. You're going to get my snack guide bonus and what kind of supplements to take, that kind of bonus. You're going to get lots of stuff. This is the first course I've done, so I'm probably going to be giving you like too much information. But the good news is that you can download all my handouts. You're going to get cheat sheets. You're going to get worksheets. You're also going to get a little homework, and homework is a good thing because it helps you be aware and it will help you make changes. So you're going to get that, but this is all yours to keep, and you can have access to it, lifetime access to all my videos. I'm going to be doing over, I think, like 25 videos. So you're going to get a ton of information. So let's see, I was up to the meal planning part. So you're going to get lots of information on meal planning. And then we're going to end it with living PCOS in the real world, okay? So you have all this information, but what happens when life gets in the way? What about emotional eating? What about eating triggers? How to handle problem situations? What if your significant other wants to have Chinese food or pasta every night? What happens when you have sweet cravings late at night and you want to attack the refrigerator? So I'm going to give you lots of really practical tips for that. I'm going to do a lot of case studies. Because this is my first group, I'm going to have you guys all fill a form before you start, and you can tell me like your main concerns, and I will try to address some of them in the program. You're also going to get access to a private Facebook group just for women in the program. So you'll have a supportive environment. And again, because this is my first group, I'm going to be doing a lot of Facebook Lives, which I normally would not be doing. I normally would make that be part of a higher tier of membership, but for this class, I'm not going to do it. So I would say at least once a week, I'll be going in and doing lives. I want you guys to really get the tools that you need to feel confident about your PCOS, to know, really have the tools and the strategies to know what's the best diet for you for PCOS. I don't like to use the word diet because it's not a diet, but diet means eating food, so that's how I'm using diet. But I've been getting a lot of questions, for example, what if you're plant-based? Is this program for you? Yes, it is. I'm going to be giving all different kinds of recipes, and when I do my education part, I'm going to talk about plant-based protein. So I don't believe everybody has to do low carb, keto, forget keto, but that works for some people, but this program is not about keto. But you can do it if you're plant-based or just regular, eating the carbs, that whole thing. In animal protein, that's good too. So it can be addressed to that. Somebody else had asked me, do you get one-on-one attention? Unfortunately, no, because for the price I'm offering, which you saw from my page, it's $347 right now for the 6 weeks with all the material and the Facebook group, which is a really good deal because one session with me is more than that. So you're getting more information than somebody would get in one session. So there's no way I can give everybody personal attention in a group program, but you will be offered a discount to work with me individually if you are a member of the program. So does anybody have any questions? I see lots of people joining in. Basically, it's a 6-week program. How much time do you have to spend a week? It depends. You're going to get lots of articles, lots of stuff to read, lots of videos. I would probably say the average amount of time per week might be an hour, hour and a half, but it really depends on how much you want to put into it. But the good news is that because you have lifetime access, you don't have to feel stressed, like, oh my God, I have to watch everything this week. You can watch it whenever you want. So it's an ongoing program. And like I said, you can download everything. You can watch the videos 100 times. Hopefully you understand my accent. And good news, you do not have to live in the US to do this program, because to work with me individually, you do have to live in the US because of legalities, but you can join from anywhere as long as you understand my New York, Boston accent. And that is it, I think. So I hope this kind of helped clear up some of the questions. I'm really, really excited about this. You're just going to get so much information, and I really think you're going to get a lot out of the program, because I firmly believe that diet and lifestyle, it really should be the first line treatment of PCOS. And I'm really so tired of reading stuff from the internet that is just wrong, incorrect information that, all women with PCOS have to do this and all women can't do that. And if you have this type of PCOS, you shouldn't do this type of exercise. It's not that way. It shouldn't be so restrictive. There's no one PCOS. You have to find what works for you. And I really want to help you understand what's going on in your body and help you understand the best kind of plan for you. So definitely let me know if you have any questions. And I'm going to put this hopefully up on my feed if I can remember how to do it. Sometimes I forget. And DM me questions. Now we'll do another live to answer more questions over the weekend or on Monday. But go to my my stories or go to the post in my feed to get the link to sign up. And I apologize for any of you guys who tried to sign up this morning. My assistant forgot to turn the link on, so it wasn't working, but it's working now. But have a great Valentine's Day, and I hope you all join. I'm really excited about this, so let me know if you have any questions. Bye.